Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. Hey, Lan. As we wait for everyone to get logged in, we'd love to know who's joining us and what district you're from. So if you could go ahead, as people have already done, share your name and district in the chat. We'll give everyone just another minute or so to join. But we're so glad you're here. Got some representation from all over the country here. So I'm excited to get moving here. Just another 30 seconds. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for sharing a little bit about yourself in the chat so we know who we have here. I see some warm welcome, some people I know, some people Dustin knows. I think we're ready to get moving here. All right, before we dig in, just a few housekeeping items. As always, when you came in, you were automatically muted by Zoom. But if you need to say something, just raise your hand and we'll bring you off mute. You can also use the chat today, so you can share any comments you have and ask questions as they come up. We always love our office hours to be a time of discussion, so please don't be shy. And like always, the webinar is being recorded and will be emailed to each of you to rewatch and share with your colleagues. A little bit about our team today because we look different today. I know a lot of you are used to Rebecca Ames. She does a wonderful job leading these office hours. In her absence today, I've been asked to try to live up to her legend, but I'm Christina. I'm an account manager here at K-12 Insight, and joining me today is Dustin Daigle. Many of you may know him as maybe your former implementation manager or even a former CSM. He now serves as our solutions architect. So he's here today to help me monitor the chat and make sure that all your questions are answered during our time. So make sure you ask all the questions. All right, so today I'm really pleased to be able to share with you just a refresher on the most essential tools at your fingertips to ensure you're getting the most out of your Onflo platform. This comes at a perfect time. I know January has seemed like 3 months already, but it's still the beginning of the new year. And if you're familiar with Onflo, but you've got some gaps in your knowledge or just need a refresh, this will be a perfect opportunity for you. We are going to start off with a little temperature check. Dustin has launched a poll. We'd like to know how comfortable you feel using Onflow. Very comfortable. Maybe you're logging on every single day. Comfortable, but you could use a refresher. Somewhat comfortable, you know the basics, or not very comfortable yet, and that's okay. Awesome. Looks we got like we have some experts in the house today and also some who could use a bit more help. Perfect. Thank you all for participating. We love to learn just about all the great things you've done this year and how you use the product. Our hope is that you'll leave today at least knowing something new or reminded of something the platform can do and just a little inspired for what you can do in the new year as well. All right. All right. So let's start with some basics. These are some things that you need to know to be successful with Onflow, and then in a little while we'll get a little more complex. But to start off, we're going to talk about notifications and out of office settings. I'm going to show you how to use our advanced search function, how to export your data, bulk edit tickets, and then we'll look at how to sort your inbox so it makes the most sense for what the information you want to see when you log in. So a lot of customization, personalization things going on today. I think that what you'll see today is that you do have that opportunity to customize your Onflow experience so it works for exactly what you need. And notifications is one of the most important ways to do this. So you can determine the exact types of notifications you receive and for exactly which tickets or updates you'd like to receive them. For example, maybe you decide you'd like to be notified via email each time a new ticket is received. You can set that up in your notifications under settings. So if you go to your name and go to settings, you go over to notifications. Here is where all of that lives. So it's broken down into two different columns, both if you are the owner of a topic or a team member of that topic. So here's where you can see what type of notifications are turned on currently and how you'd like to receive those notifications for a bunch of different scenarios here, right? So right now I might be getting too many notifications via email for as much as I'm actually inside Onflow. So it might be good for me to take off some of these email notifications. A question that I get asked a lot from my current clients is, can I edit this for my users? And the answer, unfortunately, to that is no. But we do have a Learning Center article that will you can send out to them to help them know where to edit their notification settings as well. All right, let's hover back over here. You can also set up your account for what will happen when you're out of office. So, as a system admin, you can set this up for your entire district, and then all of your users can set their personal out of office as well. So, when you want to set up your out of office for the entire district, like many of you probably just did for that winter break, you'll come to your out of office section under settings. Settings, and then over here under personal settings, out of office. I'm not going to save those. All right, here we go. So you'll make sure that you're on this account-wide tab. You can name your event. So like, let's say President's Day, since that's coming up soon. And then you can determine the date range. You can set up an automatic response that your customers will receive when they submit a ticket during this time. So just something that lets them know your office is closed and you'll respond when you're back in. You can also set up your own personal out of office for any time that you'll be away by going to the personal tab here. You can choose your days and then choose what will happen with any of the topics that you're the owner of. So if I scroll down, if I turn on out of office, and I'm going to select the days that I'm going to be taking some much deserved PTO, I can see that I'm the topic down here of the topic owner of Peahonich High School. And so as a topic owner, I can go ahead and assign a temporary owner of this topic in my absence, or I can set an auto reply for that topic. There's also an option here for no action, but we highly recommend selecting one of these top two. All right. Make sure if you're having any questions, remember Dustin is there to answer your questions in the chat. You may already know how to search for tickets using our search feature, but did you know that you can go much deeper with our advanced search? I'm going to go back home here. This box, everybody probably sees it or has seen it a million times, but this box here has our advanced search. So if you click on the words advanced search, there are a lot of different customization options or filtering options so that you can get the tickets that you're specifically looking for. For instance, if I want to find all the tickets that were created within a certain date range, I could do that. I could also look for tickets that originated from a specific place, like the website, or those that came from phone calls. It's a great way to get a highly detailed search and ensure that you can find exactly what you're looking for. So for example, as I'm in this advanced search here, I can, search for things with all these words, an exact word or phrase, any of these words. And here is that origin information. So maybe I only want to look at complaints, or I want to, select a certain date range for those tickets. You can also go to ticket details. Maybe I only want to see the tickets that are pending details and in progress or critical, right? Maybe I want to see the CX scores that are less than a 5. I can do that as well. And then finally, that last category is assignment information. Maybe you want to select a specific topic or a specific owner for that search. I was just checking the Q&A. It looks like Dustin's on there answering a question. Thanks, Dustin. All right. So let's keep moving. Once you've found the tickets that you're looking for using that advanced search, something that a lot of our clients don't yet know is that you can export them in the format of your choice. You can even set up an export scheduled and determine the frequency of how often you like those files generated and sent automatically, which is really neat. So let me do a quick advanced search for you. I'm going to search anything that is in progress. I'm going to go ahead and search here. Here are all the tickets that are in progress. If I scroll all the way down, I see these three buttons. I can save a search, which is really great. So if this is something that you're looking for frequently, you can name and save that search, and then it will live here on your dashboard or in your inbox here on the left-hand side. You can refine your search if you need to go back and edit that. But here is where you can download and export. So under the download tickets button, I have a few different options here. If you just want to go ahead, download these right now, instantly see the tickets, you can choose Microsoft Word format, and then you can determine, click on or off which one of these metrics you'd like to include or not include, right? If you choose Excel or CSV format, you're going to get a little bit different options here. So I'm choosing CSV format. And what this will do is it will take you through this process of selecting the information you want in that report, renaming it, deciding where it gets sent to, and how often. So again, I went to advanced search. I did my advanced search. Once I had those results, I scrolled all the way down and I have these three different options here. I clicked on download tickets, and for that export, I'm going to choose either Excel format or CSV format. Any questions there with that advanced search function or the export options you have in Onflo?
Christina, do you want to touch on showing them the like how you can do scheduled times through that same process?
Sure.
CSV.
Oh, everything's highlighted over here. We go. All right. Yep. So say I want all the information. I'm gonna leave all of those checked, but you can always drop these down and unselect things that you're not interested in seeing. Hit continue. You can rename fields here if you want to. If you use different, terms or phrases at your district, I can change those right here. Again, there are more drop downs. Hit continue. I can move things around. So if I want to see the topic before the description, I can move that around. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Uh-oh, what happened here? Hold on one second. Here we go.
I'm going to say your bar covered it. You got
Yeah,
it.
my bar covered it. And then here is that export location. So, and the frequency. So I can enter the export file name. I'm just going to type file name for now. And we have our dates, what time, if it repeats, right? So if you want to get it daily, weekly, or monthly, you can even set up a custom schedule there. Um, then you have these other options here that we can go through, but selecting your export data format and if you want to include private tickets or not. On the right-hand side is where you're going to get that export location option. So either an SFTP or your email, which most people are using, right? So you can put your email in there or add another one, and then you click export, and that will get set up for you, and you won't have to think about running those reports weekly, daily, monthly, quarterly, whatever it is that you need them for. Those will automatically come to you. Dustin, anything to add there?
All good.
All right. Yeah, that's a little hidden gem that I feel like once our customers learn about, they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that did that. Just save you some time, hopefully. All right, one of the things that you may not have seen yet, but I think can be really helpful in managing your tickets as a system administrator is bulk editing tickets. So let's say you have several tickets that you'd like to send the same reply to. Maybe, snow day just happened for a lot of our district partners, and a lot of inquiries about making up their schoolwork or their e-learning, whatever it might be. Rather than sending each reply one by one, you can use a bulk action to send the same reply to all of the tickets you select. So let me show you what that looks like and what options are there for you to bulk edit tickets. I'm going to close out all my tabs I have over here from all of our work that we just did. And I'm going to go to my tickets and I'm just going to select a few to show you how this bulk edit works. So I'm going to select a couple here. Once you start selecting multiple tickets, a little sidebar will pop up here in the platform. And this sidebar will help you know what you can do with these tickets for bulk action. You can change the status of a ticket. So maybe you're going to change all of these tickets to in progress or pending details, or maybe you need to close them all out. You can change priority level. You can change topic, owner. You can add team members, tags. You can even do a bulk reply, either as a reply to the customer or an internal comment on all of those tickets. You can merge those tickets if you need to. So maybe a lot of these tickets came in from, a couple tickets came in from the same parent or same community member, and you want to merge them together. You can do that here as well. So again, just another little tool to save you some time and efforts, hopefully, as you're looking to edit more than one ticket at a time. You can also customize your inbox to show you the exact information that's important to you. So this is going to allow you to ensure you're seeing all the info you need in the exact order that's important to you. So let me show you how to do that. When you go to your inbox, you can click over here on Fields, the very right-hand corner. When you click on fields, you'll see all of the table settings and the order. So everything with the blue eyeball is the things that you can currently see, and the grayed out ones are the ones that you can't. But a lot of times, a lot of my clients use ticket number, right? Especially when they're reaching out to support or they're communicating internally. So maybe you want to turn on ticket number, right? And you can drag and drop so that these fields are in the exact order that you're looking at them. The information that you need to see is there and ordered in the way that is most convenient and helpful to you. So you can see ticket age, priority, ticket status, all of these things. Maybe there are some that you're like, I don't care to see, um, I don't know, the if it's closed or not, or the priority. I want to take that off. That's not what's important to me when I'm looking at my inbox at a high level. So you can select those fields you want and even set up your inbox to group tickets by status or priority. A lot of times this just hides there and we don't really see it, but if you haven't yet clicked on that, I would encourage you to do that and see if there's a more efficient way to look at your tickets from your inbox. Okay, next, let's talk a little more about managing tickets that come into Onflo. We're going to discuss the life of a ticket in Onflo, just briefly, how you and your team should be responding to the tickets, including how to use those internal comments. And then finally, we're going to talk about the difference between anonymous and hidden topics. So on my screen now is sort of the cycle that a ticket goes through in Onflo. This is a quick review because I think everyone here, or most of us here, know these steps and maybe have seen this slide quite a few times. But first, it's going to come in from your customer, whether that's your parent, community member, employee, etc. Once they submit their ticket, they automatically receive a thank you email confirming that the ticket was received and letting them know when they can anticipate a response. And remember, you can always edit that automatic email confirmation. On the back end, we set it up so that the team member responsible for the ticket is notified and then can manage the ticket. The team member or whoever they assign then composes a response to the customer, and the response is sent. The customer is notified, and then a second email is sent asking them to rate the quality of the response they received. That feedback is then received and logged within Onflo. Now, when a ticket comes through, we mentioned that the team member who has been assigned to that topic is going to respond. So I want to touch for just a moment on the ticket statuses team members can use. When a ticket comes in, it's automatically marked as in progress, right? If one of your team members responds to the ticket, but more information is needed, we can change that ticket status to pending details. Pending details is when we're waiting on more information from the customer. That's going to pause the clock on the ticket while you wait for that response. And then, of course, once that ticket has been replied to and resolved and everyone's happy, you could close the ticket out, and that's what will trigger that email requesting feedback to be sent to the customer. So, in progress means your team is working on it, and pending details means we're waiting for more information from the customer, which pauses that clock. Any questions there? Okay. Now, when your team is working on the ticket, it may be helpful to use the internal comments to communicate about the ticket. This is where members of your team can communicate, and you can also add anyone else who should have eyes on the ticket as a team member. It's also a great place to document actions taken on the ticket without the customer seeing your notes. So I always tell everybody when I'm looking at a ticket, and I'm scrolling here on the right-hand side. That gray line there signifies, okay, this is where all the internal communication is happening. So if I needed to tag in Dustin, um, here I can do at Dustin. There he is. I'm going to add him to the ticket that way. Hey, please check this out. And I can post, I can attach things, and then Dustin would be notified. We can determine our course of action together without having to involve the customer before we respond with our clear answer. So, before we move on from looking at how tickets are handled, I want to take a moment just to discuss the hidden and anonymous tickets. This is something that can be turned on or off at the district level, and this is a highly asked questions. If you allow hidden tickets to be submitted, this means that the customer can choose to hide their information from the district, but the ticket will still be able to be replied to because Onflo will retain that contact information, but we're just gonna hide it from the district. So hidden, we still have their information and you can still reply to it. You just won't know who they are. If you allow anonymous tickets, those are a little different. An anonymous ticket is one where the customer has chosen not to submit their contact info, so they cannot be replied to. But your team can still receive the ticket, create an internal comment if needed, and then close the ticket. And as I mentioned, you can decide as a district whether or not to allow hidden and anonymous tickets, but it's worth considering that people in your community may be more willing to engage with you if they know they can submit comments or complaints anonymously. That's just going to be a conversation for you and your team to decide. Okay, let's move on to some more specific system admin tricks and tools. We're going to discuss adding new users, how to set up and use responses, custom forms, critical alerts, workflows, and finally, we'll take a look at your dashboard. So as a system admin, you have the ability to manage the users in your district. You can add them one by one, or you can import a bunch of users at one time. This is a great option if you need to onboard an entire department or an entire team. So if I jump over to the system real quick, just in case you haven't been there yet, if you hover over your name, you can select users. And this is where you're going to be able to add a new user or a new user group. You can import users here. It will give you a template to fill in, and then you can upload it right here. So again, great for if you're onboarding a new department or departments. or a big group of users at your district. One thing you may not have seen are our response templates. Um, have any of you used response templates? Maybe put yes in the chat if you are already utilizing response templates at your district within Onflo. Great, already see them coming in. Lan, Anthony, Trixie are all using response templates, Kamisha, hey Kamisha, at their districts, which is great. Even if you're still using them, it's a good idea to just refresh your memory and think of since you've launched or since you've set up these response templates, are there new departments or new forms that could really benefit from a response template in 2026? To just show you very quickly how to get there, you're going to go back to your settings and you're going to go to response templates under communications. There are already templates here available, or maybe these are our templates. Dustin, can you answer that question in the chat? Do we have templates or are these just ours?
These are ours from the demo site.
Thanks, Dustin. So you can create a new template. It's super easy. You're just going to name it, and then you can format it exactly how you'd like to format it. And what this will allow our users to do is when they go to respond to, those questions that we just get asked over and over again, especially at the, certain seasons of the year, maybe it's back to school or a holiday break, etc. If you go into a ticket, let me click out of here. Okay, here's my ticket, and I want to reply. I have this option to use a response template. So I'm going to choose bad weather here. And there's my response template. I can edit it if I need to, but it has saved me a bunch of time because I already have it loaded up there. So again, you'd go to settings and under communication, response templates. So I'd encourage you to think through what new response templates some of your departments or your users could really use in 2026 moving forward, just to make their lives a little bit easier and to give those quick, really great responses to your customers. So you've probably heard about our custom forms before, but I think it's worth spending a little bit of time on them today just to make sure everyone feels comfortable with them. Our custom forms are a really great way to make sure you're collecting the exact information you want when a customer submits a ticket. We can create them to collect whatever information you'd like, including attachments and files. So a recent update we added are templates for custom forms. So let's go over there and check that out. Again, you're going to go to settings and you're going to scroll down to forms under account setup. So here are where we can see some templates now that live in this space. And you can go to view more right here. And you can see just a few there that will help you get started. Our standard form, probably a lot of us are using on a lot of our topics just to get name, a description, right? How to get in contact. But those custom forms are really going to allow you to add workflows and automations and specific questions, specific drop downs of schools or departments or just questions, right? So these are really great ways to improve that efficiency with some of these tickets. If you ever need help, reach out to your account manager and we'll get you connected with someone on our implementation team or our professional services team that can help you build one of these custom forms out if you need some help. Dustin, are we good with the Q&A? Is there anything we need to share from those conversations?
No, I'm answering Kamisha's questions about the response templates now.
Okay.
Kamisha, I'm pretty sure they can create response templates on their own, but they can't share it with anybody else, and it looks different. So I'm typing up a little bit of a lengthy response, but I'll get to it.
Thank you, Dustin. I think everybody can see the Q&As, right? So if they click on Q&A, you can see the questions that were asked and the responses that Dustin gave. All right. All right, let's talk about critical alerts. They are available for you as a way to escalate tickets that contain certain keywords or phrases. So you can identify these yourself, or you can use the ones we've identified as words that districts often identify as important. You can customize and choose not only what words or phrases to use, but the purpose as well. So many of our districts will choose words that reflect safety and well-being issues, but you can also choose words that have to do with school choice or any other custom category that your district wants to have extra eyes on. Then, once you decide which words you want to trigger a critical alert, you can select the team you want to be your critical alert team. These are folks who will be notified when a ticket comes in that contains the word or phrases you've identified. And you can see on my screen that when those tickets come in, they're also identified in red so that they stand out. If you haven't already enabled them, I do recommend you take a look and decide how they can help you make sure nothing slips through the cracks. We have a lot of our district partners who have their police department or their SROs as part of their critical alert team as well. That's just worth something worth mentioning as you're considering who might be on those teams. All right, this is one of my favorite ones, workflows. Another way to really make sure you're getting the most out of your Onflo platform is by utilizing workflows. Let's get some audience participation in the chat. Those of you who are using workflows or automations within Onflow, can I get a yes or something in the chat just so we can see who's already utilizing this tool? Workflows are when we use automations to take care of all of the repetitive tasks that don't really need a human touch. So they utilize if-then situations. So if a ticket comes into the platform that meets certain criteria that we set, then what do we want to happen? So let's say we want a supervisor to be notified if a ticket reaches a certain age. We can set up that workflow, and then a supervisor is automatically notified of the ticket when it reaches 5 days or however many days I determine. So this is where your team can really customize and automate to save themselves a lot of time and reduce the number of redundant tasks they're asked to do. Those of you who are system admins are probably have the task of looking at overdue tickets, right? So a lot of the workflows that we initially set up with our clients are maybe like a 3, 5, 7 day reminder that automatically puts an internal comment into that ticket that reminds that owner and that team that they need to respond to that ticket. So a lot of if then, let me just show you a couple of those opportunities here. I see we have some users who are already utilizing those. That's awesome. Land who would like to use more. And Land, we can talk more about that. But again, you're going to go to settings and we're going to go to workflow under communication. And I'm just going to show you what this looks like to create a new one. Okay, so here's our if trigger, right? And here are some of our options. If the status is, if the priority, the topic, the entry point, where is it coming in from, right? If the ticket type, customer type, subject line, ticket age, on and on and on. This is worth exploring. If you haven't yet, go to settings, go to workflow, and just make a test workflow and just use the drop downs to see what's available. And that will start hopefully triggering some ideas of how we can utilize them. Yeah, and like Dustin said in the chat, sometimes they can be tricky. So feel free to reach out to your account manager to ask what kind of workflows you want to execute, and we can help you move in the right direction and give you some ideas from what other clients and departments are using these for. All right, I'm going to click out of that so I don't mess up anything in our demo. Okay, I love workflows, so happy to connect on those. I want to spend just a little time talking about your Onflow dashboard. We could spend an entire office hour just on the dashboard. In fact, I believe Rebecca has, but I just want to touch a little bit on how you can use it to get a quick snapshot of your data and use what you see there to really drive your actions. So we'd love to help make looking at your dashboard data a part of your regular data review sessions. And we've tried to design our dashboard with that in mind. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard by clicking this icon. Here we go. So remember, you can click onto any of these metrics here for more information and to see where your team is excelling, where you might want to focus a little more attention to make improvements. And don't forget that you can share your dashboard with anyone you'd like by using this share button up here. And you can share this dashboard, you can enter email address, send your message, you can even send yourself a copy. You can also download PDFs or graphs of your dashboard data. So if you go to this download button, again, you can determine what you'd like to include there and if you'd like it in PowerPoint or as a PDF, and you can download that as well. The other thing you can do from up here at the top of your dashboard is to save certain reports. So say you came over here and you did some filtering. Maybe you're like, I want to see everything from this current school year, and I want to filter it so that I'm only seeing this topic of communications. I'm going to apply my filter, and now this report is updated for me. If this is a report that I want to look at often, I can hit save. I can title my saved report. And then anytime I log in and go to my dashboard, my saved reports will be here on the left-hand side. So think of those reports that you're having to look at often or that you're having to report out often, right? What are some saved reports that you can implement in 2026 that's going to save you a little bit of time filtering, whether it's by the time frame or the topics or whatever it might be. Think of those reports and what we can save and who you can share these with, right? All right. All right, the last component of our refresh session today is to make sure everyone knows how to access additional help and training. So you can always access our own chatbot, Chatsy. So if you've never used Chatsy before, Chatsy lives up here. And if you click Chatsy, you can ask Chatsy any questions you have about Onflo, right? The other way you can get support is by clicking on this icon with a little raised hand. Here, it's going to give you quick links to any Onflo updates that have happened recently, a place where you can sign up for training, and also our Learning Center articles. So, three really great places to get some help. You can even go to support and feedback right here. And it'll open, or you can submit a ticket right through Chatsy as well. So, a lot of ways just from inside of the platform to get help the way that you need it. Of course, you can always reach out to your account manager as well for any of those questions. All right. As we near the end of our time together today, I want to give another plug, like Rebecca always does, for our awesome client care team. So, along with your account manager, they're here to help you with any issue or problem you may have. In fact, sometimes our client care team can be the fastest path if you're trying to troubleshoot an issue, or even if you just have a quick question. So, please don't hesitate to reach out to them anytime you've got a question or you need support. Dustin is going to paste their contact information in the chat for you, something that you can always move over to your own notes or sections or take a quick picture of. But this is a really great way to get that quick help that you might need, especially when it comes to technical issues with the platform. Thank you, Dustin. All right. Now that we've gone through this training refresh, we'd love to know, what is one thing you learned today that you plan to either implement, refresh on? Maybe you didn't learn anything new, but you got reminded of a few things or features that you haven't used recently or features that you want to improve on. What is one of those things that you plan to refresh on, implement, or just commit to learning more about? Dustin is going to go ahead and launch that poll now, and I'd love for you to just take a moment to respond. Uh-oh.
I'm getting to it.
Okay, just making sure you're good. Like
It wouldn't
Dustin.
let me click the launch button for some reason.
It's okay. Thanks, Dustin. Just gonna give everybody just a couple minutes. What are you planning to look into more, utilize more, learn more about, ask your account manager about in your next meeting from these features? All right, just a couple more seconds. Okay. See a lot about workflows, response templates, data exports. That's great. We love to hear about what resonated with you and what parts of today's training you found helpful. So, love that we all have something we can walk away with and move forward with into 2026. And please remember that we are here to help and support any of those efforts. Dustin, are there any questions in the chat or Q&A that you think would be good for the greater group, or are we all set there?
Oh, good. I think I might send a few follow-up emails just for people that might have had questions that may need some more exploring. So
Perfect.
I'll be
Thanks.
reaching out.
All right. Well, thank you so much for attending today. Dustin and I really appreciated spending this time with you in the new year and refreshing your Onflo skills. But if there are any unanswered questions or you still have questions, please continue to put them in the chat or raise your hand and we'll bring you off mute in in just a few minutes. Otherwise, thanks so much for joining. We hope you have a great rest of your day and week and keep your eyes out for our next office hours registration and as well as the recording coming to your inboxes soon. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Kamisha. Thanks for coming today. I'll chat with you soon. Dustin will be following up as well. Thank you, everybody. If there's no more questions, we're going to log off. Have a great one.